So I'm going to be assuming those of you who are watching this video are at the beginner level or at the intermediate level of your journeys. Now, what I mean by beginner level is that you can't even go 3 days without this habit. And what I mean by the intermediate level is that you are able to go like a couple of weeks before you eventually relapse. Here's how I want you guys to model your journeys pretty much. Consider the first couple of days. Actually, no. Consider the first 1 to 3 weeks of this journey as the escape, the great escape. What you're trying to essentially do is escape the gravitational pull of this habit, porn, masturbation, and orgasm. At this point of your life, at this point in your journey, during your escape phase, you are experiencing the highest amount of gravitational pull that you can experience from this habit. You know, you're just within this gravitational pull, and things are really volatile because your brain remembers that, hey, you just did this highly stimulating dopamine inducing habit, let's do it again, the cravings are at its peak, you don't have a routine yet, etc., etc. This is what I would call the escape phase of the journey. So this model incorporates another phase. Let's call it the actual journey or the flatline phase. This phase typically happens once you have finished the escape phase. That is the 1 to 3 week mark. Once you have escaped that, where the gravitational pull is the most extreme and things are very volatile, once you have gone through that period successfully, then starts your actual phase or the flatline phase. Now this is the 3+ week phase, and this can go on and on and on. 3+ weeks, 4+weeks, 5+weeks, 6+weeks, all the way down to like years. Now that you have understood the model of escape phase and the journey phase, let's talk about what tools can help you in both of these phases. So I'm going to discuss about some tools that can really help you if you're someone who's currently in their escape phase, meaning you're just getting started on this long no fap journey, and you're still quite feeling emotionally volatile, getting all these cravings, and you're trying to use motivation to suppress these cravings, but things are not working. If you see a single trigger, bam, you're back and you have relapsed already. The number one tool that you should use during this phase is fasting. And here is why. So what fasting pretty much does in my experience is, number one, it builds your ability to say no to instant gratification. At this stage, you need to hone this ability of saying no to instant pleasure. And there's nothing better than fasting in order to help you to hone this ability. Saying no to food and water is far more difficult than saying no to pornography. But once you train your system, once you train your body, once you train your mind to say no to these essential, fundamental things in life, saying no to pornography becomes a joke. Not only that, this is just the abstract description of what I think fasting does to you. However, if you want me to give you a more materialistic perspective, I would say that fasting rewires your brain. Like, think about this. For 10+ years, people have been using this habit as a crutch. People have been performing this habit day and night. This has actually rewired your brain in several ways. Your brain thinks of pornography as something that it requires because this behavior has been so deeply embedded into your brain's chemistry. In order for you to break this pattern, these set of neurons that are firing together and pulling you towards pornography, you need to fast. Fasting literally destroys this pattern in your brain, and it's almost like it allows your brain to forget that such a thing such as pornography exists. Like, think about this. Do you miss cocaine? I'm assuming most of you have never done cocaine, so the answer is no, you don't miss cocaine. You don't get cravings for cocaine. It's because your brain hasn't registered it as something which is highly stimulating, and that's something that has provided it with lots of dopamine in the past. And that's exactly how you will feel like when you're fasting. Your brain kind of forgets that these hedonistic desires actually exist. You won't miss pornography. The cravings will subside significantly. Like, you won't feel this impulses or this burning desire or this almost like someone is scratching the insides of your chest. You won't feel that when you're fasting. So, number one tool during the escape phase is fasting for sure. Allows you to rewire your brain and train your ability to say no to instant gratification. The next tool that you should use is changing your environment or changing things about your environment. You must have realized by now that that habit is usually performed in a similar space each time, or in the exact same space each time, and at the exact same time each time. It could be late at night in your bed. So these things actually serve as cues to the habit. You might want to break this structure. You should change things about your room. It could be your curtains, it could be adding a new poster in your room, or it could be changing the way a particular desk is oriented, or just changing your bed sheets, or not even sleeping in that same spot where you used to sleep. Maybe just putting a carpet down on the floor and sleeping there. Changing things about your environment definitely puts you in a new setting, and your brain just doesn't use that environment as a trigger for the habit. And it definitely helps a lot, especially in the escape stage. Putting yourself in a new environment is for sure something that I would highly, highly recommend. It could be that great push that you just require to break the escape phase. The third thing that could help you in your escape phase is the construction of a routine. Look, you have just come off doing this extremely, extremely dopamine inducing behavior. Now you need to get some healthy amount of dopamine from other things. By other things, I don't mean other sources of instant gratification, but rather other productive things. You need to start off building your routine during your escape phase. Some things that you do each and every single day at predictable, things which are really predictable. Make your day as predictable as possible. Start by making a routine and do things at specific times and repeat them. These things will induce these things will allow you to receive some healthy amount of dopamine and provide meaning in your life, especially during the escape phase. The last thing that you should do during the escape phase is avoid all triggers. Live like a monk during your escape phase. Be more stringent than you usually would be. By that I mean get off all social media, avoid anything visually stimulating. Make sure that the content that you're watching does not have triggers in it. It could be YouTube videos, it could be movies, it could be Netflix series. It could literally be anything that you feel has some sort of trigger embedded in it. Avoid all those things, at least during the escape phase, because right now your brain hasn't fully rewired itself. It still remembers those highly enticing dopamine inducing things. You don't want to light up those circuits again. So during this escape phase, avoid all triggers. I would actually even recommend that you do not even go to places where you are likely to see such material, such content, things which are hypersexualized. So these were my recommendations for the escape phase. Now let's move on to the journey phase of things. This is the 3+ weeks where you have now fully escaped the peak gravitational pull of this habit. Now things are a bit more stable, you feel a bit more confident, and you have a routine going on. You're doing the same things every single day. You feel like you have put some distance between yourself and the habit. Why do people exactly fail during this phase is because of two reasons, in my opinion. Reason number one, actually make that 3 reasons. Reason number one is due to a flat line. And that's the phase where your brain starts to repair itself, and people have experienced no sense of positive emotions. It's like you're numbed out, you've become a zombie. Maybe your brain is repairing its dopamine receptors. I don't know what exactly is going on, but this phase is fairly common and it's hard to get over. And it can last for weeks. The number two thing that people fail is due to the absence of a routine. They're still waking up at different times and pursuing other hedonistic desires, eating garbage food, yada yada yada, and eventually they crash. The third reason why they fail is because of life. What you will realize that life will throw stressful events at you, curveballs at you, punches at you from time to time. This is just how life is. And if your mode of dealing with stress has always been jumping to PMO, or that's the crutch that you use, you're more than likely going to fail when a stressor really hits you. So let's address these concerns. What tools can you use as a man to deal with all three of these things? In order to deal with a flatline, I cannot recommend this enough: fasting. What I believe a flatline really is it's the absence of dopamine. So you feel like there's no meaning in your life, you feel kind of sad, you feel numb, and you need some sort of dopamine to get you going, get you ready, get you started, get you excited about life. Fasting has been shown to induce dopamine into your brain. So I would highly, highly recommend, whenever you're hit with a flatline, start fasting. Now this could be a 24-hour fast, 16-hour fast, 48-hour fast, whatever you are capable of pulling at the moment. But fasting definitely helps you feel motivated, feel happy, and accelerates the process of healing. So, for example, if the flatline of a person could last for like 4 weeks, with fasting, you can severely accelerate the process. It could just be like a week or even a couple of days if you're doing like hard fasts. The second thing that will make you crash is, well, the absence of a routine. And in order to fix that, you need to be the type of person who actually just has a routine. You need to get into the habit of having a to-do list and having a structure in your life. You need to know what you are doing at what time, and you need to not make decisions on the go. So literally have a structure set up a day before your day starts, and have times with activities noted on it that, hey, I'm going to live my life in this particular fashion tomorrow. It's this absence of decision making that really helps, because you already have a schedule with all the timings, with all the activities that you're going to do. Additionally, your sleep schedule is absolutely key in going through your routine. You need to wake up and sleep at fixed times each and every single day. I cannot stress this enough, because if you're waking up and sleeping at different times, you're going to feel fatigued, you're going to have that brain fog, jet lagged, and eventually you're going to jump behind the quickest source of dopamine, which is some hedonistic desire, typically PMO. The third thing is based on your ability to tolerate stress. Like, what amount of stress can you tolerate? Can you tolerate the stress that life throws at you? If you want to improve your stress tolerance, you need to do 2 things. Number 1 is start taking cold showers. Cold showers have shown to improve your ability to tolerate stress. There's a lot of research on it. You can do a quick search and see all the benefits of cold showers, the dopamine that it kicks in, and it improves your ability to tolerate stress, yada yada yada, a bunch of benefits. So the next time life hits you with a curveball, your stress tolerance ability is high enough such that you can absorb it and not jump off and seek some other hedonistic desires to numb yourself out. And I can speak from experience. Like, I used to have anxiety and I used to get pretty stressed out about small things. It could be a university exam or things related to my current job, etc., etc. But ever since that, I've started taking cold showers. You feel a lot more stoic. Like, yeah, been there, done that. I can handle it. No big deal. That's how your mind starts to think once you are used to taking cold showers. And the cold showers don't need to be super long. It's just 2 minutes or 3 minutes per day has shown to have a lot of improvements in mood and ability to tolerate stress. Additionally, in order to improve your stress tolerance, you can also incorporate more fasting. You know, you can do longer fasts to really allow your brain to rewire itself and not think of pornography as something that it can use to escape this situation. Make it forget it, like you never had this crush, like you never had this problem, and there's nothing that will help you forget it uh, than fasting. Like, you don't miss cocaine because you never did cocaine, and that's how you're going to feel about pornography once you've done enough fasts. It's like it's wiped from your memory. It's like it becomes like a weird thing to do, to look at a screen full of pixels and jerk off. So this is how fasting can really, really help you when you're in this journey phase of the model. Another thing that could really, really hurt you during your journey, and I forgot to mention this, is having a poor diet. If you're someone who still hasn't fixed his eating habits and you crave fast food and you actually have a lot of fast food, it will eventually change your identity into someone who requires instant gratification. What you might have realized is all these habits, these instant gratification seeking habits, typically occur in clusters. Like, if you're addicted to fast food, you're more than likely addicted to other things as well, because you seek instant pleasure. I would advise that you avoid things that give you instant pleasure. It could be things like lying down and just going through TikTok, social media, and getting that all that instant dopamine, instant pleasure. Or it could be things like eating fast food multiple times a week, or any other form of thing that you suspect gives you instant pleasure, unearned pleasure, without any effort at whatsoever. These things typically will turn you into a person who seeks instant pleasure, and therefore will more than likely cause you to pursue PMO once again. Another thing that I would really recommend that would help you in both these phases, the escape phase and the actual journey phase, is praying. Since I'm a Muslim, my day is pretty much broken down into 5 prayers. And these prayers really help you to allow you to realign with your purpose. It's a reminder that why am I here? What am I doing? What's my mission? What do I need to avoid? And these 5 reminders in a day are really, really helpful in structuring your day. It's like you're constantly aware that, yeah, there's a monster sitting by you, and if you don't do things the right way, this monster is going to be the one driving the vehicle of your existence, and it will crash, and you will relapse if you let this monster drive. So prayers are a good reminder to keep this monster at bay. Now you might think that, oh man, these are way too many lifestyle changes to implement, and this seems not practical. But trust me, once you start implementing these changes parallelly, you will realize that it is significantly easier to escape this habit rather than just using pure motivation as a tool. Because motivation is a limited resource and it will eventually run out. However, these protocols, these behaviors that I have described, do not require motivation as fuel. They actually provide fuel, these habits and these protocols. So I would if I could summarize what I have said into a couple of sentences, it would be this: do not use motivation as a fuel, but rather use other tools and protocols which will serve as fuel and allow you to rewire your brain simultaneously. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Thank you.